We are about to embark on a journey that breaks the boundary between the ordinary and the extraordinary. There is a level of knowledge possessed only by the top 1%, which allows them not only to understand, but also to change the very reality around them. This is not just theory or philosophy. It's the ability to profoundly alter how the universe responds to you. Throughout your life, you've been living by an invisible set of rules designed to keep you in sync with the world around you. But those who hold the 33 RD degree knowledge know the truth. These rules can be changed. The reality we live in is far more flexible and malleable than you ever thought possible. The trot behind.
We're about to break through the veil that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. There's a level of understanding, known only to the highest few, that allows you to shift reality itself. This isn't just theory or philosophy. It's about fundamentally altering how the universe responds to you. You've been living under a set of rules designed to keep you in line with the rest of the world. But the top 1%, those who hold the 33rd degree knowledge, know the truth. Those rules are malleable. Reality, as you've known it, is far more flexible than you. The first key to bending reality is recognizing how much power is stored in your perception. Most people think they are experiencing the world objectively. They wake up, go through their day, and assume everything they see and feel is just how things are. But perception is not passive. It's an active process, one that filters and shapes every experience. The reality you experience isn't fixed. It's constantly being molded by the way your mind interprets it. This understanding is the beginning of unlocking the 33rd degree knowledge. Your perception is a lens. That lens can either expand or limit your world. The top 1% see the world through a vastly different lens than the average person. They don't just see what's in front of them. They see possibilities, probabilities, and potential outcomes all at once. They don't react to the world. They shape it. That's the first layer of bending reality. You're not responding to a world that's already been created. You're creating it as you go. Every thought, every belief, every assumption you hold is a building block of the reality you live in. Here's where it gets practical. If you want to start bending reality, stop thinking of your mind as a receiver of information and start seeing it as a projector. Your thoughts are not just internal dialogue. They are blueprints. Every thought you hold consistently gets projected onto the screen of reality. If you think in terms of scarcity, you experience scarcity. If you think in terms of abundance, your reality shifts to match that frequency. The top 1% understand that reality bends to the most persistent and dominant thoughts in their mind. This leads directly into beliefs. Beliefs are the foundation upon which your perception operates. People think beliefs are reactions to the world, but in reality, beliefs are the architects of the world you see. Change your beliefs, and the world around you changes. The top 1% don't just believe in what's possible. They believe in the impossible. They understand that the limits most people accept are self-imposed. They believe they can achieve what others deem unrealistic. And because of that, they do. Beliefs are not passive. They are active forces shaping every interaction, every opportunity, and every outcome. Think about the last time you faced a challenge. You probably saw it as an obstacle, something external you had to overcome. But the 33rd degree knowledge teaches something radically different. The challenge wasn't external at all. It was a reflection of an internal limitation. Something in your belief system that needed to be addressed. When you shift internally, the external obstacle dissolves. The top 1% know that every problem is a signal, pointing them toward a belief that needs to be upgraded or discarded. Here's the real breakthrough. Once you understand that your beliefs are the foundation of your reality, you realize that you can change them. The top 1% are constantly upgrading their beliefs like software. They don't cling to outdated beliefs just because they've held them for years. They treat their belief system like a constantly evolving tool that needs to be sharpened and refined. And this is where most people get stuck. They cling to their old beliefs as if their life depends on it. The 33rd degree knowledge reveals that your life doesn't depend on your beliefs. Your reality does. The next piece of this puzzle is identity. The top 1% understand the power of identity in ways that most people never will. They know that your identity is the strongest force shaping your life. Who you believe you are creates the boundaries of what's possible for you. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, someone who's always just getting by, then that's the reality you live in. But if you see yourself as someone who creates, someone who bends reality to their will, then that's exactly what will happen. Identity is not static, it's fluid. The top 1% are masters at shifting their identity to match the reality they want to create. They don't wait for external proof before they believe in their new identity. They step into it first, and the external reality follows. Most people wait for evidence before they believe something about themselves. The top 1% know that the evidence only comes after the belief has been firmly established. You have to believe in the version of yourself that already has what you want. And then reality will reshape itself to match that belief. Reality isn't just shaped by your thoughts, beliefs, and identity. The top 1% know that time itself is a construct that can be bent, stretched, and even collapsed. Most people think of time as linear. You start in the present, move into the future, and leave the past behind. But what if time isn't linear at all? The 33rd degree knowledge reveals that time is flexible. and it responds to the energy you bring to it. Here's how this works. In the quantum field, there is no distinction between past, present, and future. Everything exists in a state of potential, waiting for you to focus your energy on it. When you think of the future, you're not just imagining something that might happen. You're creating a blueprint. The top 1% know how to collapse time by aligning their energy with the version of the future they want to experience. They don't wait for the future to come to them. They bring the future to the present. This is where most people get stuck. They live in what's called a time lag, the space between where they are and where they want to be. They focus on the gap, the distance, the things they don't yet have. But this approach only reinforces the gap. The top 1% collapse time by focusing on the version of themselves that already exists in the future. They act now as if that future is already real. And because they're vibrating at the frequency of that future, the universe has no choice but to deliver it. This isn't just about positive thinking or visualization. It's about embodiment. The top 1% embody their future selves in the present moment. They don't just think about having more money, more success, or more freedom. They live as if they already have it. They walk, talk, and make decisions from the perspective of someone who's already achieved their goals. And because they're vibrating at that frequency, time collapses, and the future is pulled into the present. Most people are living in a constant state of waiting. They wait for opportunities, for proof, for the right circumstances. But the top 1% understand that waiting only reinforces the idea that what you want is not yet here. Instead, they choose to live as if it's already real, and reality responds accordingly. They're waiting for the right moment, the perfect opportunity, or the external validation that tells them it's okay to move forward. But waiting only puts you in a state of inertia. The top 1% know there's no such thing as the right time. There's only the time you create. If you want to manifest faster, you have to stop waiting for something to happen and start embodying the reality you want to live in. The next layer of bending time is understanding that action is a bridge between the present and the future. The top 1% don't just sit around waiting for their desires to manifest. They take aligned action. But here's the key. They don't take action from a place of lack or desperation. They take action from a place of certainty, knowing that the future they want is already on its way. Every action they take is infused with the energy of their future reality. And that's what speeds up the manifestation process. The mistake most people make is that they take action from a place of fear or doubt. They're constantly trying to force things to happen, which only creates resistance. The top 1% know that aligned action comes from a place of trust. They don't need to control every detail. They know the universe is working in their favor. And because of that, they move through time with ease, bending it to their will. The final key to bending reality is understanding your relationship with the universe itself. The top 1% know that they're not isolated beings trying to force their way through life. They're connected to a much larger, more powerful force. This force, whether you call it the universe, infinite intelligence, or something else, is always working with you. But it only works if you know how to align with it. The universe operates on a set of principles, and when you align with those principles, reality bends in your favor. This isn't mystical or esoteric. It's practical. The top 1% understand that the universe is always communicating. It's constantly sending signals, guiding them toward their highest potential. But to receive that guidance, you have to be open to it. Most people are so caught up in their own minds that they miss the signals entirely. The top 1% know how to listen to the universe, and because of that, they're always in the right place at the right time. The universe doesn't speak in words. It communicates through synchronicities, patterns, and intuitive nudges. The top 1% have developed a heightened sensitivity to these signals. They don't ignore their intuition or write off coincidences as random events. They know that these are the universe's way of guiding them toward their desired reality. And because they're always paying attention, they move through life with a sense of flow and ease that most people never experience. When you align with the principles of the universe, you stop pushing against reality and start co-creating with it. This is the ultimate secret of the 33rd degree knowledge. You are not separate from the universe. You are a part of it. When you align your energy, beliefs, and identity with the universal flow, reality bends to your will. Not because you forced it, but because you've become one with it. The most powerful insight that comes with the 33rd degree knowledge is this. You're not here to conquer reality. You're here to flow with it. The top 1% understand that force only creates resistance. The more you try to control every outcome, the further you push it away. True mastery comes when you let go of the need to control and instead co-create with the infinite intelligence that governs everything. The universe isn't something outside of you. It's not some distant force that you need to appease or manipulate. It's working through you, constantly responding to your energy. But here's the catch. The universe doesn't respond to what you wish for. It responds to who you are. Who asks for? This is where most people miss the mark. They think that by wishing hard enough, by setting goals, or by visualizing their dreams, the universe will magically deliver. But the universe doesn't work that way. It responds to alignment, not wishful thinking. Alignment is the state of being where your thoughts, emotions, and actions are fully synchronized with the reality you want to create. This is what the top 1% have mastered. They don't just think about success. They feel it, they live it, and they act from that space every single day. They have learned to embody their desires, not just think about them. And this is the key. When your internal world is in alignment, The external world has no choice but to follow. The universe is like a mirror. It reflects back the energy you project into it. If you're constantly emitting doubt, fear, or frustration, that's what you'll experience in your reality. But if you're emitting confidence, certainty, and abundance, those are the experiences that will manifest around you. Now let's take this a step further. Co-creation is not just about aligning your thoughts and emotions. It's about taking action in sync with the universe's flow. The top 1% don't just sit around waiting for things to happen. They move, they act. But they do so with a deep sense of trust and flow. They don't take action from a place of fear or desperation. They take action from a place of knowing. They know that every step they take is supported by the universe, that every move they make is part of a larger divine plan. The mistake most people make is that they try to force things to happen on their timeline. They get impatient, frustrated, and start pushing against the natural flow. But the universe operates on its own timing. And when you try to force it, you create resistance. The top 1% understand that timing is everything. They know when to act and when to wait. They've developed a deep sense of trust in the process, knowing that when they are in alignment, the universe will bring them exactly what they need at the perfect moment. This brings us to one of the most misunderstood concepts in the 33rd degree knowledge: surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means letting go of the need to control every detail and trusting that the universe is working with you. The top 1% have mastered the art of surrender. They know when to let go, when to step back, and allow the universe to do its part. Most people think surrender is a sign of weakness, but it's actually the ultimate form of strength. When you surrender, you're saying, I trust the process. I trust that the universe is guiding me to where I need to be, even if I can't see the path right now. This is a level of trust that only the top 1% have mastered. They've learned to let go of their attachment to specific outcomes and trust that whatever happens is ultimately for their highest good. And this is where the magic happens. When you stop trying to control every aspect of your life and instead align with the flow of the universe, you open yourself up to possibilities that are far beyond anything you could have imagined. The universe has a much bigger plan for you than you have. This brings us to the final and perhaps most important principle of the 33rd degree knowledge: gratitude and presence. The top 1% understand that the more you focus on what you already have, the more the universe will give you. Gratitude is not just an emotion. It's a powerful energy. But here's the twist. Gratitude isn't just about being thankful for what's already manifested. It's about being grateful for what's on its way. The top 1% don't just say, "Thank you for what I have." They say, "Thank you for what's coming." They live in a state, the top 1% have mastered the art of being fully present in the moment. They're not constantly worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. They understand that the only place where creation happens is in the present moment. The more present you are, the more power you have to shape reality. When your mind is scattered, when you're thinking about what went wrong yesterday or what might happen tomorrow, you're leaking energy. But when you're fully present, you're at the height of your creative power. Being present doesn't mean ignoring the future. It means acknowledging that the future is being created right now, in this moment. The top 1% live in a state of now, knowing that every thought, every feeling, every action in this moment is shaping what's to come. They don't wait for the future to happen to them. They create it, moment by moment, through their thoughts, their energy, and their actions. So let's bring it all together. The 33rd degree knowledge is not about forcing reality to bend to your will. It's about aligning with the natural flow of the universe and co-creating with it. It's about mastering your thoughts, emotions, and energy so that you're always in sync with the reality you want to create. It's about trusting the timing of the universe, knowing when to act and when to surrender. And most importantly, it's about living in a state of gratitude and presence, knowing that the universe is always working in your favor. Reality is not something that happens to you. It's something you create. The top 1% know this. They live by it, and now so can you. When you truly understand this, when you start applying these principles in your life, reality will no longer feel like something beyond your control. You'll see that it's always been in your hands, waiting for you to take the reins. Once you understand that reality is always within your reach, the question shifts from, is it possible? To, how far do I want to take this? The top 1% don't spend time wondering if they have the ability to shape their world. They know they do. Their focus is on refining that ability, sharpening it, and expanding it. The more you practice these principles, the more you'll realize that the limits you once believed in were never real. They were just constructs, boundaries that you accepted because they were comfortable or familiar. But as you start to live from this new perspective, those boundaries will dissolve. The key principle that the top 1% live by is this: reality is elastic. It stretches, bends, and reshapes itself in response to your energy. But here's the catch: it doesn't happen overnight. This is where most people stumble. They try to force immediate results. And when they don't see instant changes, they revert to their old mindset, reinforcing the very limitations they were trying to escape. The top 1% know that bending reality requires consistency and persistence. It's not about one big breakthrough. It's about small daily shifts that compound over time. This is where discipline comes into play. The ability to consistently direct your thoughts, emotions, and energy toward your desired outcome, even when external circumstances seem undone and much, is what separates those who master reality from those who remain stuck in it. The top 1% don't allow temporary setbacks to dictate their long-term vision. They understand that external reality is often a delayed reflection of internal change. Just because you don't see evidence right away doesn't mean the shift isn't happening. The universe is always rearranging itself to mirror your internal state. But sometimes there's a time lag. Let's put this into perspective. Think of it like planting a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't expect to see a fully grown tree the next day. You water it, you nurture it, you give it time, and eventually, it breaks through the soil and grows into something magnificent. The same is true with bending reality. Your thoughts, beliefs, and identity are the seeds you plant. The actions you take are the water and sunlight that nurture those seeds. But you need patience. You need to trust that even though you can't see the growth immediately, it's happening beneath the surface. Now, this doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing while you wait for reality to shift. The top 1% are constantly taking aligned action. But here's the difference. They're not taking action from a place of fear or lack. They are not acting out of desperation, trying to make things happen. They are acting from a place of certainty, knowing that the reality they desire is already on its way. This certainty is what allows them to move through life with such confidence and ease. They don't need to force anything because they know the universe is working with them, not against them. This brings us to another crucial concept: detachment. The top 1% have mastered the art of detachment. This doesn't mean they don't care about the outcomes they're working toward. It means they're not attached to how or when those outcomes manifest. They trust that the universe has its own way of delivering what they desire, often in ways they couldn't have predicted. This detachment allows them to stay open to unexpected opportunities and solutions that they might have missed if they were too focused on controlling every detail. When you're detached, you're not constantly checking to see if your reality has shifted yet. You're not obsessing over whether the results have shown up. You're simply living as if they already have. This creates a paradox. The more detached you are from needing a specific outcome, the faster that outcome tends to manifest. Why? Because detachment clears the energy of resistance. When you're attached, you're constantly emitting the energy of "it's not here yet," which creates more of that same experience. But when you're detached, you're emitting the energy of "it's already done," and the universe mirrors that back to you. Detachment also allows you to stay flexible. The top 1% know that the universe often has a better plan than they do. They set their intentions, they take aligned action, but they remain open to how those intentions unfold. They don't get stuck on one specific path. They understand that the universe operates in ways far beyond the capacity of the human mind to comprehend. So, instead of trying to micromanage every step, they trust in the bigger picture. Let's talk about that bigger picture for a moment. The 33rd degree knowledge reveals that reality is not just a personal experience. It's part of a much larger interconnected system. The top 1% understand that their desires and actions aren't happening in a vacuum. Everything is connected. There's a ripple effect that extends beyond what you can see. When you align with the universe, you're not just bending reality for yourself, you're influencing the collective energy field. This is why the top 1% often find themselves in positions of leadership or influence. They've learned how to work with these larger forces, and as a result, they naturally rise to positions where they can shape not just their own lives, but the lives of others as well. This understanding leads to another critical insight. Service amplifies your power. The top 1% know that the more they align their desires with the greater good, the more powerful their ability to bend reality becomes. This isn't about self-sacrifice. It's about recognizing that when your actions benefit others, you tap into a much greater flow of universal energy. The universe supports those who support the collective. The more you contribute to the upliftment of others, the more the universe opens doors for you. But let's be clear, this isn't about martyrdom or putting others' needs above your own. The top 1% don't operate from a place of lack or self-denial. They understand that abundance is infinite and that there's more than enough for everyone. They don't believe in zero-sum games. They know that by lifting others up, they're creating more abundance for everyone, including themselves. This is why the top 1% often have a larger vision that goes beyond personal success. They're driven by a desire to contribute to something greater than themselves. This is where their true power comes from. When your vision is aligned with a greater purpose, you're tapping into a much larger energy field. You're not just bending reality for yourself. You're co-creating with the universe on a grand scale. And here's the final piece. Trust in your own evolution. The top 1% know that they are constantly evolving. They don't cling to old identities, old beliefs, or old ways of doing things. They're always growing, always expanding, always stepping into new versions of themselves. This is why they're able to bend reality so effectively, because they're not limited by who they used to be. They're always open to becoming more. This openness to evolution is what allows them to stay ahead of the curve. They don't get stuck in comfort zones. They don't rest on their laurels. They're always asking, what's next? What's the next level of mastery I can achieve? What's the next version of myself I can step into? This constant evolution is what keeps them aligned with the flow of the universe. And it's what allows them to continue bending reality in ever more powerful ways. So, as you move forward, understand this. Bending reality isn't a one-time achievement. It's an ongoing process. It requires you to constantly refine your thoughts, beliefs, identity, and energy. It requires you to stay open, flexible, and aligned with the flow of the universe. But once you've mastered these principles, once you've truly integrated the 33rd degree knowledge, you'll find that reality is not something that happens to you. It's something you create moment by moment with every thought, every action, and every breath. The top 1% live this truth every day, and now so can you.